Hey everyone. In this video, I'm going to reflect on the 12-week marathon prep that I just completed. I'm going to talk about the culmination of that prep, which was a 22-mile workout to simulate a actual marathon. I'll discuss some of the things that went well, some of the things that I should have done differently and will do differently in future marathon preps, and then I'll also talk about the future of this channel and what I want to do moving forward. I apologize if the volume's kind of low. I'm trying to keep it kind of quiet as my fiance is sleeping in the other room. So, for anyone who is new to the channel and this is their first video, I decided to do a 12-week marathon prep where I was going to simulate, training for an actual marathon without doing a race. Instead of ending that 12 weeks with a full 26.2 marathon official race, I decided to do a 22-mile workout. And that 22-mile workout, I've used it in past marathon preps. I've used it in preps that have helped me get to a sub 3-hour marathon. And so for me, it is a good indicator of my level of fitness. So the 22-mile workout is a 2-mile warm-up, and then it is 6 sets of 3 working miles, and then it's a 2-mile cool down. Now for each set, it is 2 miles at marathon pace or faster, and then 1 mile at a little bit slower pace. And so my goal is to be able to run a marathon in under 2 hours and 50 minutes, which means that I need around a 6:30 minute per mile pace. I should be able to maintain that for the full distance. And for this workout, I decided to make my fast paces a little bit faster, trying to stay at around 6:20. Granted that it's 18 miles of work and not 26.2. And so my thinking is that if I make it a little bit faster and if I can maintain it, then that will be a closer approximation for what I could actually do in a real marathon. So like I said, the prep was 12 weeks. I did 5 weeks of building and then a week deload, and then the rest of the weeks were building with a taper. I averaged for those building weeks about 70 miles per week, and the goal was to do one long run, which was about 23 miles, or which was 23 miles once per week on Saturdays, as well as 2 tempo or threshold workout runs on Mondays and Thursdays. I also maintained strength training, doing 2 days of upper body strength training and 2 days of lower body strength training. So let's get to the actual workout. I'll put the splits on the screen so you guys can see it, but not going to go into the warm up or cool down. Actually, I'll talk about the cool down at the end. But so that first set, that first mile was 6:15, and then I'll just go down the list actually. So the first mile was 6:15, and then 6:17, 6:13, and then a 6:34 recovery. And then I did a 6:12, 6:22, and a 6:33 recovery. Then I did a 6:19, 6:20, 6:42 recovery, 6:24, 6:32, 7:25 recovery. So definitely started to feel it here. Then I did 6:41, 7:06. So, couldn't keep up the pace. Did a 7:31 recovery. And then for that final working set, 6:44, 7:10, and then a 9:45 recovery. And then the cool down, I'm not going to lie, my legs, I didn't have anything left in my legs. And so did a nice little walk jog, primarily walking to make it back to the end. There's something so great about marathons, at least for me. I haven't run any ultra marathons. And so this distance is great where there's this level of suffering that you get to around the 18, 19, 20 mile mark that it's very difficult to replicate. And this workout definitely replicated it for me. And it's something that it's a goal. It's something that I aspire to be able to persevere through and continue to get faster, especially at those later miles. So I did not complete the goal that I set out. The goal would have been to maintain that 6:20 minute per mile pace really for all of the 18 miles, but specifically for those 2-mile faster segments. The legs started to fall apart around that 5th and 6th segment. and I just couldn't hold on. So some of the things that I think were beneficial during this prep, one was definitely maintaining 70 miles per week. That's the most volume that I've done on average during any prep. I also think it was good to run 23 miles for my long runs. Typically, I've done around 18 to 20, but anyone who has run marathons or does any type of distance activity knows that each additional mile added on is exponentially harder than the last one. And so I think getting used to running 23 miles was pretty helpful. And I would also say that pushing myself on the track and during my tempo workouts was very useful and something that I'm going to maintain. Now, what do I think I need to do better? Oh, I'll also say that stretching every day was very helpful. During this prep, I transitioned from working a 9 to 5 to only being in grad school and basically only doing night classes. And so I have a lot more control of my time. And so I have less of an excuse to not stretch. And that definitely facilitated my ability to keep up with the workouts and to keep up with the volume. Now, what would I change? I would definitely do more strength training. I think that my cardiovascular was fine. Towards the end of the 22-mile workout, it wasn't my heart, it wasn't my breathing, it was my legs. It was the strength and endurance in my legs. So I think I need to do more lower body strength training. What else? I think I need to add more faster miles at further distances. And so all of my fast miles were done within the 10-mile workout range. So Mondays I would do 3-mile warm up, 6 miles at marathon pace, and then a 1-mile cool down. And then my threshold workouts on the track, they were all 1,000-meter repeats after a 2-mile warm up. I need to do something where I do 10 or 15 miles first, easy, and then do 5, 6, 7 miles at marathon pace. I need to get my body and my legs used to moving that fast at further distances. So I think those would be the two primary changes that I would make in future preps. I would put in more workouts. I might even just do the 22-mile workout a few more times throughout the prep before going into, the actual quote-unquote game day or race day. So those are my biggest lessons that I've learned. I enjoyed the prep. Moving forward with this channel and in my life as well, I'm going to maintain running, probably just doing 50 miles a week with one speed workout per week. But my focus is going to shift to my master's degree and just studying psychology and philosophy and trying to focus more on that intellectual aspect of trying to be a better person, trying to be one day a great father, trying to be a great fiance right now, and just someone that is awake, for lack of better terms. And so stand by for what that content is going to look like on the channel. I imagine it's going to be a lot more just face-to-face, me ranting about different ideas or different books that I've come across. And so, stand by. Thanks everyone for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next video.